4 months behind schedule, European football's Champions League has reached the quarter-final stage this Wednesday evening in Lisbon. Paris Saint-Germain takes on the Italian side Atalanta in the first game of a new format due to the coronavirus pandemic called the Final Eight. For more on this, I'm joined by our sports editor, Simon Harding. Simon, Paris Saint-Germain, one of the tournament's favourites. Surely they're going to make it through to the semi-finals.
Well, you would think so, Stephen, but it's not going to be as easy as people think. Of course, Paris Saint-Germain actually today are celebrating their 50th anniversary, so it might bring them good luck. And the last time they reached the semi-finals was 25 years ago in 94-95, when George Weah was still playing for Paris at the time. But certainly with the players they have at their disposal, with the money, of course, behind Paris, you've got your Neymars, Icardi, and so on and so on. You would expect Paris to win. Good news for them is that Kylian Mbappe is in the squad. He was a doubt after a really poor challenge in the Coupe de France final a few weeks ago against Saint-Etienne, where they said he would miss the game. We're not sure if he's going to start or not. The lineups are due to be announced in the coming minutes. And of course, Paris will be without Edinson Cavani, whose contract finished, and because of the coronavirus and the extended season, as you mentioned, has now departed the club, which leaves them only with one fit senior striker, which is Mauro Icardi, whom Paris have now officially signed. Paris, who beat Borussia Dortmund to qualify for the quarterfinals. They've not played that much football since, of course. They played in the Coupe de France final, then in the Coupe de la Ligue final. Two very unconvincing performances by Paris. Thomas Tuchel, the Parisian coach, was quizzed about it in his press conference. He got a little bit tetchy with journalists when he was asked. Just one goal in 120 minutes and a victory, of course, against Lyon penalties. So is physical conditioning going to play a part? We'll have to see against, of course, an Atalanta side who has had a phenomenal season. But of course, the onus is that Paris, they're expected to make the semi-finals. It's always one of the requirements for a manager. Thomas Tuchel, who last year had an incredibly disappointing exit against Manchester United in the last 16 when they were 2-0 up after the first leg at Old Trafford with our last-minute penalty by Marcus Rashford. So plenty of questions to be asked by Paris, and certainly the strongest opposition they will face since the restart.
Well, Atalanta having this amazing season, could they provide the big upset in the tournament?
Absolutely, and the beauty of Atalanta is they're a free-flowing attacking side. They're missing one of their big players, Josip Ilicic, who will be missing through injury. Their goalkeeper as well, it's the reserve goalkeeper stepping in. The number one is also missing, but Atalanta scored 98 goals in the Serie A this year. They finished third in the Italian Championship, just a point behind Inter Milan, of course. And it's a team that's playing in its first ever Champions League. They became the first team back just before Christmas to lose their first 3 games in the group stages and then still make it to the knockout stages. They beat Valencia in absolutely fantastic form just when COVID started breaking out in Italy, with phenomenal performances back then. So the question is now, yes, they're going to be playing against one of Europe's strongest sides, both in terms of players and, of course, in terms of money. And this is a one-off. As you said, the Final Eight, there is no home and away lengths as we're usually accustomed to in the quarterfinals, semi-finals, right up to the final. It's just a one-shot game. So in that circumstance, you would think that Paris' superior skill would give them the edge. But then Atalanta, of course, anything's possible. And they've been playing a lot of football. Serie A restarted, of course. The French Ligue 1 was called back in May and June when the French government decided not to extend the league. So Atalanta have had plenty of competitive games. They're probably still going strong, and this will be their opportunity to make it to the semis.
OK, Simon Harding will be watching that match for us later on as well. Thank you very much. That's the